In my view, the historic November bond rally was really a result of three distinct changes. One was the change in the Treasury funding. The second was an overall shift in Fed speak and Fed narrative, which went from a more unified hawkish stance towards overall more dovish stance. And the third would be an overall cooling in the domestic data, particularly the labor market data. The Treasury funding dynamic is particularly important because they opted to issue substantially more bills as well as more front-end coupons rather than continued issuance out the long end of the curve. This suggests a couple things. One, that they were increasingly aware of the potential impact that their August refunding announcement had on the long end of the curve, while also suggesting that they were more comfortable issuing where they knew they had a captive buyer base. In other words, the buyers at the long end of the curve tend to be more price sensitive in nature versus the front end of the curve where there's people have to own a certain amount of debt there. One of the interesting patterns, in my view, that has resulted from the increased issuance, particularly in the long end of the curve, is the fact that there's much more volatility, intraday volatility in particular, around these auction events. It's too early to tell whether or not these will result in increased tails or increased stop-throughs of the market. To me, that what is the most clear is the fact that there's increased volatility around these events. On a go-forward basis, I think one of the most important takeaways here is that the Treasury needs and financing needs have gone up by about 4 times since 2009, while dealer balance sheets have gone up by around 10% over that same time period. What this means to the market is that the street is being asked to take down increasingly more paper, while their balance sheet is becoming increasingly more constrained. So what that says to me is that we're in for a period of increased volatility on a more structural, longer-term basis.